My name is Stian Lindbøl, and I'm coming from the Norwegian Media Authority. And we've been working for some years now with the issues of gaming. And what we've done is try to raise knowledge among media, journalists, among media, among teachers. How many here are teachers? Oh, yeah, so there. Good. Okay. So, I'll try to give you a perspective or an overview of what we've done in Norway these last few years. 2 days ago, there was the launch day of Grand Theft Auto 5. Was there a lot of fuss about it here in Poland?
Yes.
No? It was?
It was in Germany.
It was in Germany, okay. But in Norway, it was all the newspapers, online newspapers in Norway, they had a review of it, of course, and all of them gave it 6 points or 6 on the dice. So, I know these are journalists, they are male, most of them are male journalists, and they are like 30 to 40 years old, and they love these games. So it was written all around. And then, of course, that was the day before it was launched. And on the launch day, they made a follow-up where they had pictures and reportages around from different shops that opened at midnight. So they can show all these young boys standing there. And the reflection wasn't that high around this. And these boys were under 18, and this 18 classified for 18 years, this game. But it shows a bit of the hysteria, the media panic is not there as it was a few years ago. It doesn't say that it's okay, but it says a lot about the perspective around gaming. So the Norwegian Media Authority have been working, we are mainly working as advisors on this field, and we have contact with researchers and professionals. We have a helpline in Norway, a helpline for gamblers. And gamblers is, of course, have a reward in money. Money is the reward system in gambling. And it's quite different from gaming. But it's the same helpline. And they have professionals there that also understand a lot about gaming. And we are a part of the PEGI system, the Pan-European Game Information System. I will not use time on that. But mainly what we're working with is prevention, information, and knowledge. And of course, we make all these boring paper things, but we have an online website, which is quite important, of course. You have to have an online page. But we see if you want to reach out to some teachers, and in Norway we have a system on the primary and secondary school where you have nurses, school nurses. And if you're going to reach out to the school nurses, you have to have something that is paper, because they don't sit in front of a computer. So I have like 70 brochures in English, and you can fight for it afterwards. It's one of the brochures we made that has the title, "When Gaming Habits Cause Worry." And this is made for parents and for professionals. That's including nurses. And of course, it have a reference to online resources. But then they can have it on their desk, so they can use it when they need. The thing is, in Norway, we are very keen on having facts on everything we do. So every second year, we have a big children and media survey, which is conducted around in different schools in Norway. And we have like 2,000 participants from children aged 9 to 16. And we have also 2,000 parents with children in the age group 1 to 12. And this gives us the main feedback and the main information on what we have to do. And then we see what's really going on among the youngsters. And we get the information we need to start to do different things. And we've done that on the area of gaming, where we have the government have made an action plan. So this is the survey, a bit of information on it. I have made a PDF on this, and it's available, so you will get it, I guess, if you want to. But what we do in this study is we ask about the extent of media use, and also, of course, about risky behavior and the children's own experience. experiences, and that's quite important. And the survey is done like anonymously, and it's done at schools, of course, but they sit for themselves in front of a computer and get like help, online help, if they need help to understand the questions. So we have quite important information there. And what it has shown is that when it comes to cyberbullying, in Norwegian, bullying is called mobbing. And that word is a bit strange in Scandinavian because it's a very wide term, and it includes a lot of things. And a child can say that, well, I was mobbed, I've been mobbed, but just once online by a person I don't know. So that makes it a bit of a problem because that term, mobbing, is also used by professionals. And when we try to survey that or find out what are the numbers on cyberbullying or on mobbing, we can get really high numbers. So what we started to do now in our new survey is to have frequencies and try to get how often are you mobbed? Is it more than once per month? And then we get totally different figures. Then we end up on the same level as all kinds of bullying, offline bullying too, which says about 4%, maybe 2 to 4%. So it's not that different. Harassment and like harsh words online, that's a different thing. Yeah, you know this is in Norwegian though, but it says a lot. That's a boy and that's a girl, and that's the top 3 games that boys are playing. I guess you know Call of Duty, FIFA football, and Minecraft. And Minecraft is of course very popular too, and it's a creative game, like online Lego system game. And among girls, we see a big rise in gaming the last few years, and it comes mainly because of the smartphones. Girls are really playing on smartphones now. So, and they have different gaming behaviors. Sims, Tetris. Tetris is really old. It was invented by a Russian engineer, wasn't it? When was it? 79? It's a long time ago. It's a new version of it, but it's still popular. Yeah, this is still in Norwegian, but I can tell you this says 44% of children in the age 9 to 16 have access to a gaming console on their own room. So almost half of Norwegian kids have that. And 70% of children in the same age group, 9 to 16, have access to their own computer on their own room. It's important to ask the question that way. So of course in Norway, which is a country with a very good economy, we have a lot of devices. But we were also the first, or the government in Norway was also the first government to make a stortingsmelding, that's a governmental white paper, on computer games, which also said that computer games is a media expression. It's very important, and we should use money also on that and not only on films, to develop films in our country. So finally, computer games was accepted as a cultural experience. That's quite important. At the same time, there was established an expert group on problematic gaming. And they used researchers from an institute in Oslo and some researchers around in Norway, and they ended up with a very good action plan against problematic gambling and gaming. Most is towards gambling, because gambling is the biggest problem, of course, when it involves money, but also gaming. So gaming was also included in this action plan. Yeah. So this is the front page of the action plan. And it shows right away that the main issue is concerned with gambling. Yes. I won't read this, it's quite boring though, but still. What we ended up doing, of course, is doing like you are doing here. We make a conference. A conference is important, of course. But what we did was, for the first time, to make a computer game conference where we got people that was not part of the network. They were really looking for people outside of our network. That means people that were not part of the action plan, people that we knew had critical points on this, these issues, and invite them to this conference. It was quite important to get them there to have a discussion with the people who were behind the action plan. It was a really good conference. And it ended up with also making this effort together, this brochure and this online site called problemspilling.no. That's problemgaming.no. We will translate it. Unfortunately, it's not in English. It's only the brochure here that is in English. So, but still, we ended up doing that. And on this page, we have phone numbers to the helpline. We have good information on different kinds of identification issues, things you should look after if you are uncertain if a child is in a kind of danger. We also made a competition. It was important to get to know the youth perspective. And in Norway, we have a big LAN party in the Easter time every year up in Hamar. And there are like 5,000 young kids going there. 4,700 boys and 300 girls. And on this big event, we had a competition together with an NGO. And the competition was called The Problem with Problem Gaming and Seen from the Youth. And sorry, I don't have the movie with me here, but and it wouldn't help you a lot because it's a Norwegian boy who tells about his life around gaming. And also his problematic experiences with gaming. So quite interesting. But he shows about the creative side of it and how he got out of the problematic side of it and started to use it also as a social arena. An arena where he met other boys and he got out of what he called his own problems. And we have the Norwegian Media Authority is a secretary for this Council for Applied Media Research. And some of the money is quite interesting because the money we get into this is from Norwegian games. Norway is very regulated. We have slot machines, but they are very regulated. They are owned by the state. So it's a strange situation, and they get a lot of money in, and from some of the money from this gaming is going back to sports, local sports in Norway, and also to research and to do action plans against gambling and gaming. So that's important to have an understanding of. So we also have some money, which is for the first time now. They have the deadline is the 1st of October, and we have some money for researchers where they can apply to try to find out more about problematic gaming. And also we can give some money to master students who would like to look into this field. So we want to lift it up on a higher academic level. The second point here is quite important. People in this field is very keen on not using problematic gaming or problematic gamers on everything. There's a big difference between being a HFG, as it says here, as that's a high frequent gamer, and a problematic gamer. So both the professionals and the youth will know when you try to approach them and say that, oh, you are addicted. There's quite a big difference between being a high-frequent gamer, which is devoted to gaming, have that as your main hobby, and being a problematic gamer. And I guess, I don't know if you know it, but a lot of professionals, nurses and psychologists know this. They see it when the gaming has underlying issues, and when gaming when you have a gamer have a problem with managing other aspects of their life. So this distinction is quite important, especially for media and for politicians. It's important to make that distinction. Yes. So I said enough already about the brochure there. How's my time?
1 minute.
1 minute? Yeah. Oh! 1 minute. Okay. 3 important pieces of advice, which is also included in the brochure and on our online site, is this, and I guess you know it. We start with knowledge, we go to dialogue, and it goes to rules. So you heard it before. It's not a magical word of approaching it. It's quite easy. But the thing is that you can intervene when you see the symptoms. You should intervene. And what we should do is help both parents and professionals and teachers to understand when should we intervene. When do we see the signs that this is going the wrong way? Yeah, that's our website. Doesn't help you a lot. This is the only interesting thing. There's a quite new book in Norway by a researcher, and I guess all countries around the world, at least a lot of countries, the English-speaking countries, have written like a summary or a book that takes up this issue of a world of excesses. And the use of world here is important because it has to do with World of Warcraft, which has been the most important game. And MMORPGs, that means, of course, massively multiplayer online role-playing games. Those games have the features and the aspects that might get you in a problematic situation. And internet, okay, we know also that the internet has some of the same issues connected to it, that you can stay there for a long time, you can lose a lot of time, you can get into problematic situations. But still, it's not included in the new DSM-5 manual, internet addiction or internet addiction syndrome. It's not included. They say that you should watch it as an interesting field of study, but it's not included, so it's not a diagnosis. But my conclusion is that you shouldn't really end up or be afraid of, or you shouldn't need a diagnosis to do things. In some areas, we would like to have a diagnosis because it helps. Then we can start doing things. But we think it is in Norway a bit of a strange way of approaching it. If you have problems, if you use too much time in front of all kinds of screens, you should, of course, get some help. Or as the physiotherapists say, well, it's not good to sit still for too long. Okay, that's it.
Dziękujemy.